everyone, it's Sam aka Ocean Unknown and welcome back to my channel. First off, I just wanted to say thank you all so much for 1,000 subscribers. It really means a lot to me. Thank you so much for helping me on this journey as a YouTuber, and thank you all so much for liking my content and appreciating me. It really means a lot more than words can say. So to celebrate this channel hitting 1,000 subscribers, I wanted to do a Q&A. And on my Instagram and on my YouTube community tab, I put out a post saying, hey, give me some questions, and you guys answered, and I will be answering those questions right now. So let's get into it. All right, the first question I got was, what was your biggest motivator to start recording videos and become a YouTuber? For me, I've wanted to be a YouTuber since I was a little kid, about at the age of like 8 or 9. I reached a point where I wanted to make that dream a reality. As a kid, like I definitely wanted to make different videos. Like I had my little YouTube phases, like, oh, I was really into like DIY YouTubers back in like 2014, 2015. I also used to watch a lot of like skate YouTubers back in the day, but when I got into college, I was watching a lot of like fashion videos and cosplay content, and as I started growing both as a makeup artist and as a cosplayer, I was like, this is a type of content that I would like to make, and of course I've branched off from that content, but the real motivator was just fulfilling that dream that younger me had, and now at 20 years old, I've fulfilled that dream for my younger self. The next question is, who do you draw the most inspiration from as a content creator? I draw my inspirations from a lot of different places, definitely in terms of like the humor aspect and like, oh, funny little bits in my videos. Most of that comes from like YouTubers I watch now who I think are hilarious, most notably Curtis Connor and Danny Gonzalez. I think they're so funny, like so many of their videos are like comfort videos to me, and I just love their content, and that's where I get all of like my humor bits. Like you'll hear me make like I hardly know her jokes, or like I'll include like the same sound effects that Curtis does. So yeah, that's where I get a lot of like the humor bits from. In terms of the informational content and the reason I make analysis videos and video essays, my main inspirations are Kian Carlisle. He's the guy who made the 3-hour-long Lab Rats video that I talk about a lot on this channel. Weeby News. She makes a lot of Danganronpa content, and I really look up to her. She's incredible. Also, SHSL Blaze. They're amazing. I love their videos. And their Danganronpa content really inspires me with my Danganronpa related content, as well as just like other YouTubers that I really like. Prickly Alpaca, Sophia Nygaard, True Green 7, like I get inspiration from a lot of places. Alright, the next question is, what has been your favorite video to film so far? In terms of just the filming process of it, my all-time favorite video to film was the evil YouTuber alter ego video, simply because of the fanfic portion of it. That was just so much fun. That was me just chaotic energy up until 5 a.m. just acting ridiculous. I would love to make another video like that again, where I really get to kind of be informational but also like let loose and laugh at stuff and have fun. Alright, the next question is, what gave you the idea to primarily do video essays? And a follow-up, do you think you're going to focus on this style of content going forward? Okay, here's the story. Me in 2022, mostly making fashion, makeup, and cosplay content. I, in my free time, watch a 3-hour-long video about lab rats made by Kian Carlisle. I really like that video, and I'm like, I want to make videos like that. In that video, Kian talks about this character who I don't remember from the times I watched the show as a kid. That character, of course, was Marcus. I watch Kian's video, and I'm like, this guy's so funny. This stupid eyebrow thing, it's making me laugh. And then I was like, wait, what if I just make a video about that? And then I was like, no, that's way too niche. But I made it anyway, and I really enjoyed the process of making it. And then the actor who played Marcus saw it. Well, he saw my Instagram post. I don't know if they saw the video, but nonetheless, I'm pointing it out. But yeah, that is the basic story of how I got into video essays, you can thank Marcus Davenport from the hit television show Lab Rats for that. But I really enjoy making video essays now. It's the type of content that just really makes me happy and really inspires me, and I really just enjoy making them, from the writing to the filming to the editing to everything. And I do definitely think I'm going to continue making video essays moving forward with my content. Alright, the next question is, if you could collab with anyone, who would it be? And you can't say me, I know you want to collab with me. This is from one of my friends who is also a YouTuber, and there will definitely be a collab with them happening at some point. It's in the works. But in terms of people who I would love to make a collab with, it really depends on the video. Like if I'm talking about like Pokemon content, I would love to collab with like a Pokemon YouTuber, like someone who I've like looked up to for like years, like True Green 7 or Birdkeeper Toby or Hoops and Hip Hop, like, because we kind of make similar content with like analysis and theories. And I just feel like our content would blend really well together, any of those three. But also, speaking of Pokemon YouTubers, a content creator who I would love to collab with, although we make completely different content, is Purple Cliff. I have been watching a lot of Purple Cliff videos recently, specifically his like last to leave the Discord server type videos, and I would love to be a part of one of those. Purple Cliff, if you ever see this video, I doubt you ever will, please put me in one of those videos. I will fully show up in a Pokemon cosplay. I will have the greatest time and put my 110% into whatever you throw at me. I feel like this is like a sales pitch, like I'm trying to get on like Survivor or something. Of course, like I would also want to collab with like popular video essayists who I've looked up to, like Kean Carlisle, Izzy Is, Modern Girls, Dream Jelly, Lee. Or hypothetically, I doubt this would ever happen, but if I ever were to collab with like an official Danganronpa fan game, that would be so cool. Like that would be so awesome if I just made like a random cameo in a Danganronpa fan game, or like they allowed me to make like news content. That'd be so cool. Next, I got 2 different questions related to Danganronpa, since that has been kind of my main content as of right now, has been all about Danganronpa. So the first question was, who are your favorite Danganronpa characters from each of the 3 main games? So going down the line, I'm gonna start with the first game, Trigger Happy Havoc. This might be an unpopular opinion, but my all-time favorite character from the first game is Sayaka. Sayaka is just, she's so interesting. She's such a compelling character. Her in the beginning, I was like, oh my god, she's so nice. Like, I really cared about her character. And then of course, like, spoilers, she dies first. And it really just sets like the mood of the story. Of course, people have their negative opinions about her because, for those of you who don't know, Sayaka in the story, she tries to frame the main character, which of course, since you're playing as the main character, that incites a lot of negative emotions. But she had her reasoning in my mind. She wanted to protect her family, and she really she was just being opportunistic. And I feel like that's realistic to the situation she was in. Of course, what she did was immoral, but she's also just a very compelling character. Moving on to the second game. I think my favorite character from the second game is Mikan. And as much as I disagree with her writing and how she was written and her execution is the worst of the whole series. That is just a fact. Mikan is, once again, just a very interesting and compelling character. I love her design, and any character that has like pastels in their color scheme, I am immediately drawn to. And also just like, I relate to her character to a certain degree. Like, I'm also like, I know I'm like out here and I talk on camera a lot, but I'm a very shy person in public. I am very introverted. I get very anxious very easily. And also, I'm also very much a people pleaser. And also, I over-apologize. I was bullied a lot in school, so like I'm very insecure about a lot of things. And seeing Mikan, I was like, yikes, I relate to that. I relate to a lot of that. Also, Mikan has a soft space, she has a soft space in my heart because she was like the first like full cosplay I've ever done. Technically, the first cosplay I ever did was Ryoma from Danganronpa V3, but like, Mikan was like the first time I styled a wig, the first time I ever like customized a costume. Like, I had this like ruffled shirt and I seam ripped the ruffles and then painted the top like panel white. I also painted the apron. If I can get some photos of it, I will find it. But yeah, Mikan, she'll always have a soft space in my heart, as much as she is such a poorly written character, and she definitely has flaws. And then now, moving on to V3, my favorite character from V3 is Kibo. I love Kibo. He is such a fun character. I feel so bad for him. Like, every time I watch a playthrough of V3, I'm like, he deserved like none of the like mean things anyone said to him during the story. And like, once again, I relate to him a lot because he is very much kind of like socially anxious, or just like doesn't know what to say in a situation, and I'm like, that's me. I never know what to say. Yeah, he always has like the best intentions in mind. He's just a little guy trying his best. Alright, and then I got another question, which is, what's your favorite Danganronpa character, either from canon or fanon? And I took this in the direction of also including fan game characters. I already said my favorite canon characters, but if we're talking all time, my all-time favorite Danganronpa character is Kibo. And then in terms of fangans, pretty much any like evil, any evil boy in a fangan. Because like fangans, they know how to write evil, villainous men. David from Despair Time, I talk about him a lot. I cosplay him a lot. Levi from Despair Time, I'm gonna be wearing my cosplay vest. I like the entire cast of Despair Time. They're so cool. I really like Nico. I really like Ace. Ace gets on my nerves, but at the same time, he's so interesting. I really like Veronica. Veronica's also a very interesting character, but she can also kind of get on my nerves. But that's like the point of her character. She's meant to make people uncomfortable. I really like Rose and Terraco. They're really cool. I like Eden. I would say out of all the characters, Eden is probably the one I relate to the most in that cast. She just is trying her best, and she's very innocent, and I like that they're kind of deconstructing that and saying like that's not a bad thing. I feel like I'm forgetting someone, and I feel I'm forgetting a bunch of people. I really like Jay. Jay is also probably the character I relate to the most in that series. And I also love Wit. Wit is honestly my favorite character from Despair Time. He's so goofy, and I love his jokes, and he's so silly. From Ian's Garden, my favorite's Wolfgang, but I also love Diana. Diana's really cool. I also really like Ulysses and Toshiko and Mark. Like, the entire cast of Project Ian's Garden is amazing. I would say like my least favorite would be Damon, but even then Damon is an interesting character. After Shattered Hope, my favorite is Cancel. And then from Another, because Another's a really popular one, my favorite character from the first game I would say is Kinji. I also like Satsuki, the clown girl. And then from Another 2, I really like Aroha. Because like, I remember when I first got into that fangan, I saw her design and I was like, she looks like me. Because back then, like, I have naturally brown hair, and I'm left-handed, and I'm a painter, and I'm an Aries, and I saw all of that and I'm like, why is she just like me? And that fangan, I also really like Yoriko, the hostess, and I know he's the villain, but I like Mikado. Also, he's voiced by the same guy that voiced David. Alright, the next question is, what was the hardest video for you to make, either edit or write or both, and why? I would say the hardest video to write is not out yet, but there was one video that took me like a month to write. Trying to solve Danganronpa Despair Time's mysteries was also really hard because I was writing that in real time, because when I finished what was supposed to be the video, about the time I finished it was when it was announced that the Literature Girl Insane music video was gonna come out, and I was like, shoot, I have more things to add. And if you haven't seen the Literature Girl Insane fan-made music video that Despair Time made, it is filled to the brim with lore and like theories and like all these hints, and I'm like, why? from the, like, I loved the video, but like from the perspective of I was supposed to get that video done like in 2 weeks, I wrote like 11 extra pages for just talking about that music video. It's hard to write stuff when you're writing in like exact real time. To edit, probably the hardest video to edit was either the reimagining the Monster High live action movie, because I was trying to get the ropes of how to edit a 30-minute long video, which I've learned now since I've edited 2-hour-long videos. And then also the Marcus Davenport video, because that one has a story. I made a TikTok about it where I wrote the video and I finished editing it back in like early August of last year. However, when I got back to college, and that video was set to come out the first week of October. And then I got back to college and I just kept thinking about that video, and I realized I hated like most of it. So I had like a week to go back and re-edit and redo the voiceovers and rewrite the script basically to get it done by the date it came out on October 8th. And that was just a really like, and I was really stressed out that week. Like I had a lot going on that week at school. So it was just a really stressful process. Next is there any video that you've always wanted to make but you haven't gotten around to yet? I have a couple. I want to get to making the rest of the face-off video essays, although my first one didn't do too well. I have one prepared, but that is right now just kind of a process because there's 13 seasons that I have to go over. I want to make more character analysis videos on Fangan characters. I have one coming out soon about Min from Danganronpa Despair Time. I also have one planned for Veronica from Despair Time. But once chapter 1 of Eden's Garden comes out, I'm definitely gonna make videos about that. There's just so many videos that I have planned made. Specifically one that I'm really excited about is I wanna make a full video about the concept of death curiosity, which is basically the idea that in most Western cultures, death is a very taboo topic. However, we as a society are very like curious about death, whether that's in indulging in media related to death, like horror movies, true crime, etc. And I wanted to talk about that concept and how it relates to the Danganronpa fandom, because Danganronpa is massively about death. Like we're watching teenagers and at most like young adults dying and killing each other, and yet that interests us, and then they get brutally executed in sadistic ways, and I'm like, why does that excite us? Like what does that say about us? Like kind of more of a like psychological analysis. I'm really excited to eventually make that video. And the last question is, what is the hardest thing about being a theater major and what is the easiest? Also really love your videos. Well, first, thank you. The hardest thing about being a theater major, of course, is different for all theater majors. The hardest for me, in terms of like universal standpoints, the hardest is really tight scheduling and the lack of communication that sometimes comes with theater and when everyone is working on like 5 things at once. But for me personally, which of course this is something that I'm kind of on my own journey about, is the constant feeling of not feeling like you're good enough and constantly feeling like you have to impress and please people. And like that's in every career thing, and that's a personal thing that I'm working on, but it is very much a thing where in my field, I get really scared that I'm not good enough or that my talents aren't being shown, not showing my talents to the best that I can, and I get scared of how people perceive me because I want people to see all of my art and all of the things that I'm making and all the passion I have for theater, and sometimes I just get really insecure and very self-conscious about all of that, and sometimes it just really stresses me out. However, the easiest thing about being a theater major is just being able to do what you love and like getting to create really cool stuff. Like, I'm gonna show you something I've made. Like, I wouldn't have been able to make this if I wasn't a theater major. In one of my classes, we made puppets, and I got to make a full puppet of Foxy from Five Nights at Freddy's. And yeah, he looks ridiculous. But hey, now I know how to make puppets. But yeah, the easiest thing about being a theater major is just being able to do what you love and pursue what you love, and just being able to learn so much about your passions, like stuff you would never imagine being able to learn before. Like, I learned how to make puppets. I learned how to make little miniature dioramas of set designs. I learned how to use SketchUp. I have learned how to analyze text, which is exactly what I do in my videos. Like, I would not be making the content I'm making right now if I wasn't a theater major. That just makes me so, like, proud of myself and happy to be able to choose the degree and the major that I wanted to choose, and just being able to really stay true to myself and be creative and let my true colors shine. And those were all the questions that I will be answering in this video. Once again, thank you all so much for 1,000 subscribers. It really means a lot to me. I'm so, so grateful for every single one of you, and I'm so happy and I'm so grateful, and there will be so many more videos to come, and I'm just so happy. I'll see you all in the next video. Thank you so much.